Hi, my name is Chris Marsh here at Stokes Brown Toyota. Today I'm going to go over the Camry 2015 SE edition. It's a little bit different from the LE. This is going to have the tighter suspension, going to give you a little bit more sporty of a ride. First thing we're going to go over is the engine. Now, one thing I want to point out is the days of actually having to bring over the strut and having it hold it up are done. We actually have dual struts. You actually only need one of these to hold up this engine hood. The engine in this vehicle is a VVTi engine. VVTi is variable valve timing with intelligence. It has two dual overhead cams to actually maximize the fuel efficiency that you're going to have in this vehicle. One cool thing about this engine, if you actually see it rock, is it's sitting on a liquid-filled motor mount. What that does is it reduces the wear and tear and vibrations from the engine throughout the rest of the vehicle. Right here, what you're going to see, this is the heart of the star safety system. This is one of the most important safety features of the vehicle. This is each independent brake line, which is going to control your traction control, your analog brake system, vehicle stability control. Just to name 3 of the 6 features in the star safety system. Like all Toyota products, you're going to have the clear fluid reservoirs, easy to check, easy to maintain, battery, easy. Also, one thing I like to point out is these marks, these paint marks. Toyota actually, when they run it through the plant, actually has lasers that will go through and make sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. If a laser doesn't line up 3 times in a day on a plant, they actually stop production because they want to make sure every one of these vehicles are produced to the quality we expect. That's the reason that 80% of the vehicles that have been purchased in the last 20 years are still on the road. All right, moving over to the side of the vehicle, one thing that you can see on this, it does have the chrome accent. That isn't standard on every Camry. It does have dual fold-away mirrors. That way, if you run into an ATM machine, backing out of the garage, you don't have to worry about breaking off your mirror. It's really hard to see, but right behind the mirror, you actually have an aero fin. Toyota spends millions of dollars each year just maximizing fuel efficiency. Simple things like this aero fin increase the fuel efficiency of this vehicle. Before I go past it also, these rims, 17-inch alloy rims, cool feature about these is it has a stamp here. These rims are actually designed that if you had a full blowout driving down the road, that the tire would not come off the rim. We have a green knob here at Stokes Brown Toyota. All of our tires, we put nitrogen in. The reason we use nitrogen, not air, is nitrogen, warm weather, cold weather, is always going to maintain that pressure. Once again, increasing your fuel efficiencies. Back to the door, some safety features. It has intersecting safety bars that are round like a baseball bat. The reason Toyota uses round is it deflects pressure. Same principle as a baseball bat, it's hard to hit a baseball. Force goes away. We also have 3 bars across the top. Basically, what this becomes is like a roll cage. They got the design from NASCAR. Another safety feature on these doors is the pillars. You actually have different pillars, and what that does is it reinforces and strengthens the outside of the door. Now inside, one thing that you'll notice is the seats, and you'll notice the hand-stitched leather. This hand-stitch is actually done up in Kentucky at the plant. These seats are actually whiplash lessening seats. The days of the active headrest are gone because all that did was protect you from the neck up. These whiplash lessening seats actually have a bar that goes up the middle, and in the event of an impact, little pins release. It actually cradles your spine. So instead of just protecting your neck up, you're protecting your entire spinal column. Now if you look at the back, another thing that the whiplash lessening seats do is give you more room. They provide you with more leg room for your passengers. They also are a more comfortable ride. They're more ergonomic. Now if you move to the back of the vehicle, this is one thing that everyone worries about is trunk space. You can see the backup camera back here. One thing that Toyota strived for was trunk space, maximizing the area that you can put items in the vehicle. Another cool feature about this is you actually have 60/40 fold-down seats where the releases back are in the trunk. You don't have to walk around, drop one. You can actually release both seats from the trunk. Now, one thing that I'd like to point out inside the trunk is Toyota uses full-size spares. They actually don't have the donuts, they have a full-size spare. Another thing I like to point out is these fiberglass wells. What that does is reduce metal-to-metal contact within the vehicle. That's one reason that last year KBB voted the Camry one of the finalists for its most dependable vehicle, and also J.D. Power and Associates voted it one of the most reliable vehicles on the road. Going to this side, another thing with fuel, the only way to protect your fuel is to have it to where you can only release it from the inside. That's one thing that Toyota does quite a bit now. Pop it open, you can actually fill up, you actually have a spot to actually put your container on. Another thing that I like to point out is to ensure that this cap is all the way on. If you do not click it one time, the check engine light will actually pop on. Another thing that you'll notice with these back seats is this leather. It's actually not leather, it's a product that Toyota designed called Sofex. It has all the properties of leather, it's just more dependable, it lasts longer, and it's not going to break down the way that leather does. Also, where we're at in the summer, it gets hot. This leather does not conduct heat the same way that normal leather would. Up front, you can see the custom lighting on these. That's another new feature to Toyota. You've got the hands-free calling with Intune. You've got great applications like Bing, Pandora, OpenTable. Another reason that this vehicle, even though it's one of the more expensive vehicles in its class, is the top-selling vehicle in its class. So a liability that has started back in 1982, originally in Japan when these vehicles were first built, and then when they first started being produced in America in 1988 at the plant in Kentucky.
Good? Yeah. Yeah,